Another day, another Idaho rabbit hole to go down, allegedly speculation. Did you guys catch Birdies live last night, and have you watched BubblyWaters' video about Ethan and what they did to him? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Sicknesses, accidents, and stuff like that. I saw one thing. Have one here. Someone else. Sicknesses, accidents, and stuff like that. I saw one thing. Have one here. Someone else.
I'll go to BubblyWaters' video with this. I didn't want to take her content, but I'll show you. I couldn't find it in the documents. I looked for 3 hours for this picture and I couldn't find it. So I will just get a screenshot of hers. You can tell that, he was, it is possibly true that that was cut off. Could you imagine? So I'm going back through the documents, the ISP reports, the photos, but I'm going to have to look on my flash drive because I think they deleted things out of here. But I'm just going to tell you something. What I heard last night on Birdies Live was, was it Nunez? I'm not sure which body cam it was, but he says on the dispatch, like through the walkie-talkie, it sounds like they said something about it possibly being a self-inflicted self-inflicted pew pew. You know what I'm saying? And remember in the beginning that Christy said that she was told by her niece that Kaylee was at a party that got shot up. Bethany heard a loud boom and a flash. So, I mean, who got shot, And also, I want to remind y'all that the cops were on Banfield at 3 o'clock in the morning. And probably before then. And they were like just chilling, it seemed like. And when they have those guys and they're getting their IDs and all that, you see the figures run behind the other cop figures. One of them looks like they have a ponytail. Do you think Bethany was actually there that night? I don't think she was. If she was, she left at some point. And possibly when she tells Dylan, when Dylan says, I'm scared, maybe she goes to wherever Bethany is, which I don't think so. And maybe that's not even in the house, I don't know. In the Linda Lane footage, you can hear them fighting. And it sounds like somebody said, I thought it was blow. It was fentanyl, though. And so was there an OD? And maybe Emma and Demetrius, they didn't want to get arrested again because they got in trouble for, distributing rugs to students that were overdosing on them. So, and then they were let out. So, I mean, that's just wild to me. I can't ever forget that those people ran behind the cops, that the cops were there on Banfield. And like someone has said previously, this had to have had the cooperation of the frats, the police, and maybe another group of people, organization of people. Welcome back to the Idaho rabbit hole, population us. I found this article on TMZ while looking for something else, and it says Brian Koberger prosecutor controversial plea deal ain't the first. Is this DA's MO? The Brian Koberger plea deal in Idaho is not the first controversial bargain struck by the same district attorney's office. because the top prosecutor made a similar deal nearly 29 years ago to the day, and it also involved murders and death penalty. TMZ did some digging and we found out that back in July 1996, Latah County prosecutor Bill Thompson, who still holds the same position today, struck a deal to spare the life of a man who admitted to killing 2 people. The parallels here are eerie because in that case, 2 Chinese nationals were stabbed to death in their Moscow, Idaho apartment, and a former U of I student copped the murders. The killer, Wen Kai Li, was charged with first-degree murder, and capital punishment was on the table if he was found guilty. But he struck a deal with Thompson where the death penalty was taken off the table and he pled guilty to second-degree murder. The families of the slain victims in that case were furious, and they ripped Thompson in a letter to the judge saying that they were extremely upset and dissatisfied with the plea bargain, which they said betrayed the truth. Prosecutors were seeking the death penalty, but they made a deal with Koberger where he pled guilty in exchange for prosecutors removing capital punishment from the equation, and the families of 2 of the victims are up in arms. Thompson is the common denominator here, and it kind of makes you wonder. Is this the DA's modus operandi, taking the death penalty off of the table and plea bargaining to avoid a trial? He said as much back in 1996, saying that the plea deal secured a conviction without the risk or expense of a trial. Risk of a trial? You mean like risk of people finding out that you don't really care to do your job thoroughly? You just want to appease the people and make them feel like they're safe in a town that they're obviously not safe in. It's also bullshit that Jack Showalter says, I don't remember meeting Kaylee prior to that night. I don't think he said those words, but he's such an idiot. At approximately 2 or 2:30 a.m., that's 30 minutes, honey, that's a big gap, she awakened, she's already awake, because Maddie and Kaylee arrived home with grub truck food. Okay, and then all the girls talked about getting grub truck food. She did not believe Xana and Ethan were home because their bedroom door was open and she did not see them. They were outside getting beat, in my opinion. Maybe. Why would they talk about going and getting more grub truck food if they were already eating grub truck food? Why didn't they pressure her, interrogate her, make her tell the truth? Dylan, goodness.
That Dylan has done that made me go, She tells the cops she doesn't know why he didn't get her. Well, how did she know what had happened to them upstairs? The way she words it, like she's like, I don't know why he didn't do it, why he didn't kill me. Well, how do you know that he killed them? You know? Because at this point, she supposedly hadn't seen anybody, only Hunter had, right? She said she hadn't gone upstairs to see Kaylee and Maddie's bodies. And then Bethany not coming back to Idaho ever is very, very sketchy. Her saying she heard a boom and a flash. That is really odd because she's on the bottom floor where the room is, where Dylan is asked, why is that room locked and who has the key? Dylan says, I don't know why it's locked. We don't use that room. Yet her jacket was found in there and it has blood on it. It's not hers. I think it's Xana's. So why did they not interrogate her like a criminal? Because all of this is incriminating, right? Hunter with the steak knife right beside Xana. That's weird. I can't wait to get this book. I'm waiting on it. It will be here today at some point. I don't know. It's already 6 o'clock. But these are things I've been thinking about. The way she talks like she knows that Kaylee's up there deceased, but then she asks, are Maddie and Kaylee up there? What do you mean? And how did you not see Xana or Ethan at that point, when you went to Bethany's room? Her door is literally right by the stairs that go up to Kaylee and Maddie's bedrooms. To me, she's incriminated herself and she should have been interrogated, and I don't understand why she was not. I don't get it. Sometimes I go with, trying to be sympathetic with her, but it's just really hard to be sympathetic towards a liar in something that's so major, because that incriminates you and it makes you wonder, are you lying to cover up for yourself or for someone you know? Her saying, I don't understand why he didn't kill me. Right there. She's like, I don't know if he knew me or not. Well, they should have looked into that. Like, well, okay, then who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know?
Literally cannot stop, and we will not stop until we find the freaking truth.